everybody, but mostly everybody. Okay, it's just what happens sometimes. Like, for example, somebody say, well, I have never done anything wrong to my hair, I've taken care of it, it's just not as full as it used to be. And that's typically because of age, circulation changes, absorption of nutrition changes, and that of course has an effect on the appearance of your hair. Okay, and if you're gonna have locks, again, you want to pay attention to the structure of your foundation, and you want to have some insurance there. And that perfect parting is definitely one, and what I've seen over the years. Okay, so that's why I commit to that type of parting. Um, One last thing, which is not really the most important, but since we're talking about appearance, when the perfect parting system is in your scalp, your hair can actually get away with being a little more fuzzy than a person's whose parting really isn't as structured. And it's because it draws the eye to the parting and kind of makes the little fuzz that you might see like foreground, background, I mean. You know what I mean? It kind of allows the eye, it kind of forces the eye to really gravitate towards the parting, and you kind of don't notice the fuzz a little bit. And everybody doesn't retwist their hair as often as others. So I've noticed that I've been told, and I've also noticed that that's a benefit. Okay. For people that have low density hair, or people that have what I call paper towel hair, if you guys are familiar with my texture recognition theory, you'll know what I mean by paper towel hair. If you're not, you can ask a question or come to a class, because I will be extremely informative in these videos, but I will not be giving away my curriculum, because the curriculum is for people that are paying for it. Okay, so I'll give a lot of information, but not my curriculum. So the texture recognition theory talks about what I call paper towel hair. Okay, and when you have hair that doesn't naturally create its own appearance of volume, like you see how this piece is so voluminous. Okay, once the hair is put into locks, the volume, of course, goes away, right? Just like I have this, my hair is voluminous. Once it's put, if I was to put this into little twists, I know it's crazy, but it takes away the volume, right? And when you take away the volume and you have low density, it can give an appearance of scarcity. Okay, so with the perfect parting system, it actually gives you appearance of more volume to your locks. A lot of people say, I want thick locks, and they somehow think that thick locks is what gives them volume, and that's not necessarily true. The perfect parting system can assist in creating the appearance of volume, because there are so many layers of the brick layering parting. There's so many layers where the locks are falling right in between the parting of the previous row's locks. Okay, now we're going to talk about how they're customly installed. The way that the perfect parting system is installed is definitely a custom job. It allows me, so let me give you an example. If I'm parting someone's hair, it allows me, someone says they want to have a scar or a mole that they want to show, right? They don't want it to be hidden inside of a lock. The perfect parting system is customly installed to where I can put a part right where you want that scar or that mole to be seen, so that it's not sort of like encapsulated with the lock. Okay, and then also, if you don't want the mole, typically people don't want moles to be seen in their scalp. So that's been my experience. They say, oh my gosh, I wish I could cover up that mole, or they're worried about the mole in their hair and they don't want anyone to see it, or they're worried about the dents. You know how sometimes what they call preacher head, they have like layers of kind of skin stacked on top of each other, stacked on top of itself in the back of the scalp. They don't want people to necessarily see that. They don't want the parting to highlight what they consider to be imperfections about their scalp. Okay, I don't think God makes any mistakes, but you want to appease your client, right? You want to be able to help them to feel as best as possible. Okay, so the perfect parting system allows you to customly cover certain things, or expose certain things that want to be seen. That is the way I do it. Okay. It also allows me to address certain weaker areas in a person's scalp. People have weak areas in their scalp. It's not only your edges, guys. It's not only the top of your head. There are weak areas in a person's scalp all over everywhere. And you can see those things when you really closely observing the scalp, and also when you make your assessment and consultation. Okay, so you want to, with the perfect parting, it's done to where I can, let's just, for example, if someone has an area where their scalp is weak, it doesn't mean that you have to have a larger lock there. Okay, it means that when it's customly parted, you can put a lock where you want it to be. Okay, and that helps. For example, I have clients that have weaker edges. This is before they come into me and go through what I call my restoration process, to restore the hair. Sometimes people have rectangular looking locks in the front of their head, and it's because the loctician hasn't made a solid decision to part the hair where it should be parted, so that a lock will grow there eventually. The hair will grow there eventually, and you don't have to have rectangular looking locks in the front and squares elsewhere. Some people don't like that. I don't really care for that appearance. And with the perfect parting system, it allows you to be able to camouflage where you have need to be camouflaged, because it just all looks like a blur of perfect squares. Okay, this is for the stylist that's trying to address certain things to satisfy their client, and it's also for the client that has certain issues that they want their stylist to address. And then for the students that want to be highly skilled and dependable, you can address any issue on a person's scalp, and and definitely assure them that this mold won't be an issue. You know what I mean? For the rest of the time you have locks, stuff like that. It's a line. I actually do the alignment, the parting. I like for a person's hair to look, how to say snatched. You know how your ponytail is just like, your ponytail can just be slick and neat, and it makes your face look like it might be lifted a little bit. The perfect parting system, the way that it's done, it allows you to give a lifted appearance to a person's face. I know it sounds like, how's that possible, right? But when you actually align the parting to a person's features, it actually can have that effect. I'm an artist too, guys, so there's things that I'm aware of that most people won't put together when it comes to just hair. Okay, so I align it with the features. Like, for example, there was a person I saw, their ears were uneven. So with their ears being uneven, it looked like the parting, when they had the ponytail in the front, a bun in the front, and hair out in the back, it looked like their head was slanted, but it wasn't. It was because the parting wasn't paid attention to so closely, to where it camouflaged that the ears were crooked. Some people may not care about that, but again, I'm talking about perfection. Okay, so what's this here? Organize, encourage the stylist to not over twist. Okay, so when the hair is perfectly parted, let me say it this way. I've seen people do retwisting, and when they do the retwisting, they are twisting that hair so tight, because they're trying to make the parting look neater or straighter, because they're trying to get the hair at the base to look sort of shiny and stretched, like really tight. And a lot of times what encourages them to do that, to have to resort to making the base of the lock really shiny. I mean, some people edit their photos with like apps to make the base of it really shiny. I feel sorry for you guys. You see so much stuff and things are so edited, you don't really get a chance to see what the real quality of the work is all the time. But anyway, when the scalp is really organized, it's sort of, I believe that it encourages the stylist to not over twist. Sort of like what I was talking about with balancing the level of tension. When they see something that's obviously looking good, they don't have to resort to doing other different things like applying too much product to the hair to make the hair falsely look healthy. You see what I'm saying? It kind of allows them to say, this looks good. Now, mind you, this is if you're going to someone else and not coming to me, that it allows them to be able to be comfortable with